Hey everybody! God damn, it's fucking been a while. I tell you what, god damn. You know, it's been a while since I've done one of these videos. You know, since I've especially a ready to paint video. You know, it's been a while since I've had a custom beast actually ready to go. You know, mostly because of this dude right here, but also because life issues and all that. You know, I'm not ready to fully go into detail about it yet on the channel. You know, I got a lot of shit. But either way, enough of my nonsense. Actually, one more thing about my nonsense. I'm rather pissed off today. You know, I'm a lot angrier than normal, but you know that's okay. So if you guys see little ticks and breaks here and there throughout the video, I just want to let you know. I'm a little angrier than normal. But either way, so we got the 1962 Kong ready to fucking paint, man. And I tell you what, I've been working on this damn thing non-stop for like the last, I guess there's may have been brief pauses and all that. But practically non-stop for about 2 months. And it's been fucking driving me nuts, I tell you what. What is it, pretty much... God, I don't know. I mean, between I think the hands probably gave me the most trouble in the neck. But, you know, as I'm about to show you, I'm going to go into detail about that. So, here we got Kong, the 1962 Kong, yes. And mind the big-ass mane on his neck. I thought that looked really cool. And I said, since the design is already different from the movie in several ways, I figured, fuck it, I'm going to give him a mane. That, and when I tried to make a neck piece for the ball joint to be disguised in between, it wasn't working out, so I just said, fuck it. I'm gonna give him this badass looking mane and just hope for the best. Because this crease in there, I tried to figure out a way to cover it. It needs to be there in order to allow for articulation. You know, you gotta give some in order to get, you gotta give some to get some, you know. So articulation wise, his head can move about this high. So he could look up at you pretty well. Overall, you know, like I said, gap in the neck, but whatever. The fucking Maya Toys Godzilla got the same problem, so I ain't got nothing to prove. You can see his ears. That's one thing. You can actually see his ears in the sculpt, which a lot of figurines actually skip out on that, having his ears at all. But I watched some of the footage from the first movie. I've actually watched King Kong vs. Godzilla a few times in my youth. I enjoy the movie. In fact, I actually enjoy that movie more than the Godzilla vs. Kong movie in 2021. It's just more fun in my opinion. You know, less stupid shit, ironically. And like, at least with the stupid shit in the 62 film, it's goofy and it's from the Showa era, so you kind of expect it, you know. But either way, I'm not going to go into detail about that. But anyways, in the footage, essentially, I saw for a very brief amount of time that his ear was in this specific location. And yes, the ears are a little different in sculpt. You'll notice that throughout the figurine. It's just how it is. Honestly, to me, I think it adds to that sort of the Showa effect. Like this eye is a little further out than that eye. Just little stuff here and there you'll notice, which it is what it is. But anyways, on to these articulation, right? So, what is it? You got this, the head here. I think I already showed you that. Goes about that far up. Stays pretty well. It goes about that far. It can't really look down, but neither does he in the movie. So, whatever. Plus, the torso can bend a little bit, so you get something going there. And actually, his eyes are fully painted already. I had to paint the eyes separate to the rest of the figurine because of a potential oversplash. So, hey, you could already let me know what you think about the eyes. Eye articulation, you essentially... God, this is so uncomfortable to look at. You essentially stick your stick a stick in there, and you could turn it that way. And that's how that works. And funny enough, actually, through doing this, I found that you can completely flip the eyeball and give him that soulless look that he had in the movie. Like, look at that. That's fucking wild looking, ain't it? I mean, you can push it back a little further. But like I said, when you're doing that, there you go. At least keep a sliver of it covered so you can push it back into place with ease. But look at that shit. That's fucking cool. Yeah, that's the first time I've ever done this too. This is actually a lot of firsts. Firsts. But anyway, pushing his eye back into place there. You can see the eyeball. It has a lighter iris because I figured that just looked nicer. Or more nice. Same thing with this eye. And by the way, with this eye, you might get a little bit of resistance. Don't force it. Just go with the flow. You gotta just go with the flow on this one, you know? Like, you just gotta let it be. Let me see. It has a little bit of trouble retracting fully. Oh, there we go. No, don't. Never mind. But look, you get that soulless look. God, I love that. That is fucking awesome. I gotta do that for more figurines in the future. And I went through a hell of a lot of bullshit to achieve that, by the way. I literally... His head was completely solid at the time. I drilled into his head through the back and all the way into the front of the eyes, and I ended up destroying the original eyelids, so I resculpted new ones. You can let me know what you think about that. And what is it? Yeah, and then I got these beads. These beads were from the Dollar Tree. They were just like pearl white, which was perfect. You can see the eyeball there too. Well, of course. Anyways, difference is from last time I showed you the head, there's more teeth now. There we go. Teeth go all the way back into the mouth because that only made sense anatomically. He got his 2 little nostril holes. And by the way, those actually do lead through his nose. I put resin inside the nose to give it more like a wet look and a more strength, you know. So, yeah, got all that face detail. God, that... Really, honestly, in terms of, like, coming close to a masterpiece, this is probably the closest I've ever been. You got his titties here. He got some big old boobies. Wait a second, let me do that again real quick. And tell me this ain't some funny fucking shit in a moment. See his big old boobies, right? Look at this. It's like fucking Bubba J from Jeff Dunham. Like, hold on, I'm doing pretty good. Fucking. God, I love that. You can make him fucking go cross-eyed, like he got kicked in the nuts or something, you know? Godzilla fucking whapped him right in between his nutsack with his tail or something, and he went, oh! I love that. By the way, the jaw was able to turn a little more crooked beforehand, before the extra teeth, but yeah, that feature's gone. There's a little flake. Hold on, there we go. I knocked that flake off. I love that. In terms of how the articulation works in his neck, yeah, there we go. Essentially, the inside of the head is a melted caulk cap, which then in turn goes on this custom ball joint I've crafted. So let me take the neck piece off here. Also, you can see what the mane looks like from all around. Complete caulk and resin, nothing else. So this is what it looks like. It kind of reminds me of a Dalek, but with titties. A fur-covered titty having Dalek. Yeah, that's fucking exterminate. But anyway, yeah, essentially this is a chopstick, right, that has 2 black beads on it. I put the chopstick through the beads, and then I essentially covered it up completely in resin, right, and then I made a caulk resin mixture to make it more resistant to heat. Don't put this figurine anywhere where it's too hot. I'm warning you now. What is it? Yeah, and then I put a little bit more resin in the side to round it off and to secure it in place. And as you can see, it moves pretty well. You can remove it, but I don't suggest doing it. I mean, nothing bad will happen, but you know what? I'm gonna label this when I paint it. I'm gonna paint it. I'll put like an H for head and a B for body. That way you don't get shit mixed up, because there actually is a difference. But as for how I made the socket, yeah, it's a melted caulk cap. It's let's see if I got a caulk cap around here for reference. Here we go. It's one of these. I shaved it down. I cut it right about where my fingernail is, and then I slowly melt it with a lighter, and then I stick this in there, and I slowly melt the sides of it with a lighter until it fits perfectly, and it's nice and snug. But here's what it looks like without the neck. Kind of Probably a little more movie accurate, except for like the huge fucking gap, but I don't know, I like the mane. Hey, you guys! Sloth love chunk. I crack myself up. I don't know, I mean, in the future, if you want like to get a separate neck piece or whatever, you can. Honestly, I like the mane personally. It looks, God, let me get that goofy ass look off his face. Hold on. There we go. A little more focused, you know. God, that is fucking creepy if you think about it. Beautiful, but creepy. Especially like with like his sticking out teeth and like his fucking Beavis style haircut from Beavis and Butthead. Well, I bet he'd sound more like Buddy. He'd be like, hey, baby. Fucking. That's what he said to that Japanese chick in the movie. He's like, hey, baby. Come around here often? Shit. I'm fucking around too much making this video. It's like that. I see you have, wait. I see you have braces. I have braces too. I fucking love that. But anyways, yeah, so there's him without the neck piece there. You just wriggle it a little bit and it'll eventually give. Pop that off, slap that greasy pig back on, put this back on, boom, it's set. I fucking love that mane, you know. It reminds me of Sesshomaru from Inuyasha. I remember I used to watch that cartoon. Like Sesshomaru always had like that big fucking fur around his neck, like not like actual fur, but like a skin of something. I don't know. He always had that around his shoulders, and it reminds me a lot about that. But anyways, you see his titty region there for detail. Nice chesticles. Put a lot of detail into those. I don't know why they did that in the movie. You think they would have like put a little less fur? You know, I don't know. But either way, I'm making this shit too long. Arm articulation, he goes about that high. So pretty fucking high. Goes in about that far end, rotates around. He got the same articulation as a Playmates, because that's what I used as the basis. I used 2 Playmates Kongs. His hands can rotate, which if you're wondering how that works, there we go. Essentially, I made a peg. Made a peg by cutting off a piece of beast glove, which I have around here. Hold on. I cut off a strip of beast glove, like so, you know. And I essentially, I melted it to the end of the hand, and then carved it out in order to shape this hole perfectly. And you're wondering, how'd you... Well, okay, so it does the same thing with this hand. So, with this arm specifically, I actually had to take it off another Kong. And, I fused it into this side of the body. So technically, he has 2 left arms. But, you know, hey, when it comes to crafting, it don't matter, because you can't tell the difference at the end of the day. Don't worry too much about the fur here pressing up against it. It is decently flexible. Not too flexible, just decently. But anyways, that comes to how I did the legs, because you're probably thinking, how the fuck did he do these legs? So anyways, a little look underneath the carriage at his mangina here. You can see that the legs, despite the look there, it's decently solid, a little more loose than the other leg here. But it'll do you good. It still poses. But anyways, these legs are actually arms, funny enough. So let me grab the... hold on. So I guess I can grab the Playmates Kong that I used. Because I used 2 of them. In order to make this King Kong figure, right? And I was originally going to use the Scar King, but honestly, I wanted to... Ever since I made the head and I realized how big the head was, I realized that shit ain't gonna work. Plus, to me, this is a hell of a lot cooler than just doing a Scar King up a little bit and calling it a 62 Kong. This is properly the 1962 Kong, even with differences. Anybody would be able to tell what incarnation of Kong this is. Here we have this Playmates Kong, and you can see this dude is fucking huge compared to him. Absolutely massive. And how I did that was, again, this Beast Glove arm, I took 2 beast glove arms, right, from 2 different Kongs, because I collected these things in mass to use for parts. I mean, how else would I be able to do the Barsoomian Banth? Look at all that shit right there. Holy fuck. 10-legged lion from Mars, yes. But anyway, I can't wait to finish that, by the way. That's going to be lovely. But anyways, back onto the Kong here. What I did was I took, with the heat gun, I removed the beast glove arms, right? And I put both of them into the socket. Yeah, into the socket there. God, I keep messing my words up. I put both of them in there, right? And then I shaved it down. So then when I shaved it down, I took one of the copious amount of feet, of ape feet from the old Quentin Tarantino, foot drawer, and then I pretty much smelted it onto the stump of the arm, which you guys saw in that foot video. Since then, you know, I've had to craft new feet because of balancing issues. I think I already talked about that. Unless if that was take 1 that got interrupted and I didn't care for. But either way, so yeah, 2 beast glove arms, 2 regular arms. And this actually comes with benefits because it has a lot of articulation. So like it could obviously do this, but it could also rotate a full 360. By the way, here's the back of the leg, and as you can see, it could go about that far up and about that far up. God, ain't that fucked up looking? Jesus Christ! Oh God, it looks like a deck from the side. Holy shit, he's packing heat. But yeah, so and you know, you get the gist. The other leg can do that too. You can still see a little bit of the beast glove in some parts, but, you know, I left a lot of these parts bare to not get in the way of articulation. You ain't going to be able to notice once it's fully painted. But, yeah. And then here comes the most, the most interesting part other than the head, right? So, you're probably thinking, okay, I see how you did that, Chance, but how in the friggin' monkey spanking fuck did you, get him to be so much... hold on, I gotta straighten his legs up. And sweat's getting in my eye. God damn, that is burning. But anyway, how in the monkey spanking... hold on. Monkey spanking, you get the idea. How in the fuck did you get him to have so much extra height over him? Well, you see, what I did there was I took a milk jug, like so, you know, one of these classic milk jugs, you know, and I essentially made a ball and socket. How I did this, right, was I melted a thing of milk jug into this general shape, right, and then I melted a socket like this, and I essentially heated this up a little bit and popped it in, and now it can rotate. Just a little bit, though. Like, I'm not sure why, but something went wrong while I was making it, and it doesn't quite fully rotate, but it rotates further this way, right? So you can see it rotates about that far, so you can get them in sort of like a looking off the side of the mountain type pose, you know, like you could, and you can actually move his legs that way too, so you can get this dude in some badass poses. Just to iterate there. Yeah, you could get him in some decent poses, you know. You can get him in like that classic kung fu stance or me stance. This is pretty much how my legs are. Just crooked as shit, you know. I wouldn't have him any other way though. It's how I is. But anyway, there we go. But anyways, yeah, so you can get him in a few different poses, you know, before he falls over. I mean, like I said, you gotta, before you go saying, he ain't balanced, this table is not level. So, you know, hey, this Kong is definitely going to be falling over. Like I said, when you're posing him, just take your time, Ethan. Just take your time when you're posing him, and he'll stand just fine. Accessories, alright, so let me get into the accessory. God, I'm running out of fucking time. Not really, it's just that this video is going on forever. Alright, so, this classic jar that he comes with on Fair Island with the ferrolectin juice that he gets all fucked up on. You know, he passes out on top of a house in a village. Can you imagine that, going for like a night hunt and you're this fucking giant ape just drunkenly falling on top of your house? You're like, what the fuck? Took me forever to fucking make that, and he's punching Kong's leg and shit. Like all mad. So anyways, you got two regular grasping hands, right? Here they are, they grasp, you can see the detail. How I did the hands was I essentially took a foot, not this specific foot, clearly, but I took a foot, and then I took my X-Acto knife, cut into the foot that way, right? And I cut out a good portion here, and then I took my heat gun, heated up into where it was nice, soft, and stretchable, and I stretched it out that way. And I stretched all the toes into proper fingers, and then I crafted over them. As you can see, decent looking, about Showa level quality, not the best ever, but it'll do. And it'll look a bit nicer, I imagine, when it's painted. Got the other grasping hand. This is actually my favorite hand. This one turned out the best. I'd say so. You got the grasping hand, which I actually got a little bit more work to do on because it's a little tight around his weapon there. This is rough. I got a little bit more crafting to do, but I'm painting this whole thing separately, so while I'm waiting for him to dry, like the main body, I can do the God damn this uneven table. I could do the hand. Then you're gonna have his electrified hands, which are what these are gonna be. They're sticking outwards, you know. They're gonna have like this sort of lightning effect over them, which will be really nice, you know. And then, lo and behold, my favorite fucking hand ever. I gave him a hammer. He's flipping people the fuck off. Look at that shit. It's perfect. Fuck you, Godzilla. Hold on, let me pop that sucker on real quick. God, I love that. As the sweat pours into my eyes because it's so fucking hot in here. Look at that. Fucking perfect. Holy shit, I love that. God damn it. You know, if somebody made me some shit like that, I'd be friends with them forever. Fuck yeah. Kong, flipping motherfuckers the bird. You know, that gesture got me through a lot of my life, man. Teachers, students, the one bus driver, all of them alike. One simple fucking gesture got me through. My good buddy Ronnie went out doing this gesture. He died doing this to the person who killed him. And honestly, I have more than enough. I have more than words can describe the amount of respect. The fact that he died like that, you know, that's. If I'm ever in one of them situations, I'm going out, flipping that motherfucker off, going, fucking snarl at him. Big cheesy ass smile. And then here we have his weapon, because every Kong needs a weapon these days. Granted, I could have made the tree, but it's whatever. So anyways, this weapon here is called the Odako Kanabo. I gave it that specific name because I didn't have time or the resources to make an Odako figure, you know, the giant octopus he fights in the movie. So I said, fuck it. I'm turning it into a Kanabo, which is a Japanese weapon that is essentially a spiked bat or a spiked club. I prefer club. But anyway, yeah, you can see it there. I'm going to give it its own backstory and everything. You know, good weapon needs a good backstory, you know, kind of like the golden cudgel that Wukong has, you know, it has a backstory. And essentially, this octopus on top of it isn't alive, it's just carved into the weapon. I thought it looked really good. But yeah, damn, Odako Kanabo. Really like that name too. It's a fun fucking name to say, Odako Kanabo. But anyways, yeah. Yeah, what was it? That's pretty much it. I just wanted to show you guys what this guy was like before I painted him. I put so much work into this beast. I really did. Like the amount of fucking work that went into this thing is way beyond the work I usually go into other beasts, you know. I can't get over that. That's fucking priceless. Sorry, I gotta change that out. It's just too fucking funny. But anyways, yeah, you know, it's hold on, takes it. There we go. And yes, they can rotate within the socket. But anyways, yeah, look, he's like, yeah. Sorry, I'm excited, you know. But anyways, yeah, a lot of fucking work went into this, dude. You know, like, and God, I hope my efforts, are appreciated at least. But anyways, what is it? That's pretty much it. I just want to show you guys that. Oh, close your goddamn mouth. There we go. Friggin' mouth breathing, dude. Look at them. But anyways, yeah, that's pretty much that. I wanted to show you guys that. Sorry for like the fucking almost 30-minute long video. There was a lot to talk to and I talk about, and I'm goofy as shit half the time when I'm talking. But in all seriousness, yeah, I wanted to show you guys this. But anyways, yeah, so that's pretty much that. Everybody, take care of yourselves and have a good one. Bye.